after 9 this Friday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. Get this, a Rochester-based author is getting ready to see his novel take to the big screen in a new movie that comes out today.
Yeah, the new science fiction comedy film Mickey 17 is based on the 2022 novel Mickey 7, written by Edward Ashton, and we are very excited to be joined by him live in the studio this morning to learn more about that upcoming movie. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, there's so much to get into. Having seen the trailer, but also the book itself, it truly is amazing. Tell us a little bit about Mickey 7.
So Mickey 7, the short log line is it's the story of a man whose job is to die. Slightly longer log line. It's a story that's set sometime in the future where we've developed a technology that allows us to reprint someone's body after they've been killed and record their memories and basically recreate them. And it's a form of immortality. And of course, being an author and therefore a sadist, I had to think of the absolute worst thing we could do with a technology like that. And that's where I came up with the concept of the expendable. Someone whose job is to do every suicidal mission that needs to get done. And nobody worries too much about what happens to him because he just gets reprinted afterwards anyway, so no harm, no foul. But he actually has to experience those deaths. And so he's realized when he gets into it that he's made a terrible mistake in signing up for this job, but it is the one job in the universe that you cannot escape even by dying.
We've both seen the trailer for the movie, and I think we saw it before we knew you were even coming on and wanted to go and see the movie. Yeah. Now we want to read the book as well. Book came out in 2022.
Yep.
When did someone approach you to say, hey, we want to option this, we want to turn this into a blockbuster?
So that's a really bizarre story. So I finished the first draft of this book in December of 2019. I handed it to my agent. Warner Brothers optioned the book for film in January of 2020. Less than 30 days from the time I handed a PDF to my agent, we had an option deal in place with Warner Brothers. Wow. We didn't have a published book. We didn't have a publication contract. And we already had an option deal. That is not, I cannot emphasize how much, that is not how this business works. Ordinarily, a book gets published, it becomes a bestseller, then the studios get interested. Sure. This did not follow that path.
I guess that just goes to show how talented your work actually is, or how talented you are.
Talented, lucky, you know, either one is fine. I'll take it.
All right.
Now, have you gone to the premiere or seen any longer form clips of the film itself?
I did attend the premiere in London 2 weeks ago. Got to walk on the red carpet and hang around with Robert Pattinson's mom and his sisters. Lovely people, by the way. Absolutely lovely people. Yeah, we saw the film in IMAX with the cast and crew, and got to go to the after party and hobnob with the famous folks. So that was an experience I'll never forget.
Very nice. We were talking before, during break, and I asked if you had the opportunity to go visit set and what that was like for you.
I did. They flew me over in September of 2022 when they were doing the filming. I got to spend a day kind of wandering around the set. I'm an engineer, so I kind of geek out on some of the mechanics of what they were doing. They did most of the work with practical effects rather than CGI, so all this stuff that you see on the screen, a lot of it is actually built up. This is not in front of a green screen, and I got to crawl through that stuff. I got to, you know, crawl underneath the vehicles with the engineer who built them and have him explain to me how they had rearranged the drivetrain to make this whole thing work. And it's absolutely fascinating. I didn't know much about the movie business going in, and I like to know how things work. And so I learned a lot and just had a really, again, memorable experience.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and the director is a really big name. We know Bong Joon-ho was previously done Parasite as well. What was it like to see him help bring a vision that you created to life?
It's really indescribable. Bong Joon-ho, I have to say, is one of the warmest and kindest people I've ever met. I've got to spend some time with him now. You know, when I got there for the premiere, he was waiting in the lobby. He came up and gave me a big bear hug. He's been great throughout this entire process. He gave me input into the script that he did not need to give me. That, you know, once they option your property, when they option a book from you, they can do whatever they want with it, and you have absolutely you've signed over total control. So there's a lot of trust involved with that, and you know, I've been asked many times if I'm nervous about what they're going to do with my baby. And my answer is always, you know, if it had been some other director, I might have been. But knowing that it was Bong Joon-ho who was doing this, no, I never. I will admit I sometimes have woken up in the night wondering if I'll be remembered as the man who destroyed Bong Joon-ho's career. But I've never thought that he would be the one to destroy mine. Absolutely not.
I have to ask, the difference in the title, Mickey 7 versus Mickey 17.
Yeah, well, as I said, the plot is someone who dies again and again. The number is the number of times he's died. So in the book, he's died 7 times at the beginning of the book. Director Bong felt that I was insufficiently murderous, so he wanted to do a little bit longer death montage. So that's why he went with 17 instead of 7.
We're running low on time, but I do have one more question I have to ask. We know you have 6 published books, one that's still in the works. Any of those been optioned? Can we expect to see your name on the big screen in another movie in the near future?
Actually, my previous book, Mao Goes to War, was also optioned by Warner Brothers. Now, that one has not gone into development as of yet. It's sort of sitting in option land. And I will say, the studio's optioned probably 95 properties for every 2 or 3 that they actually make into a film. So most books that get optioned don't get made. It's another thing that makes what happened with Mickey 7 so extraordinary. But yeah, Mal's sitting with Warner right now, and I hope they move forward with it. I think they might be waiting to see what happens with this movie to make that decision.
Well, listen, if ticket sales are an issue, Steph and I are going.
Yeah.
So you've got at least 2 of us. We promise.
I'm sure that'll put us over the top.
Yeah.
That's what we hope. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it. If somebody wants to buy the book Mickey 7 or any of your other works, where can they go?
Anywhere books are sold, but I always ask people to go to indie bookstores if you can. So someplace like Liftbridge Bookstore in Brockport or the Dog-Eared Book in Palmyra. You know, those folks have been really good to me, and I hope you give them their business.
Perfect. Thank you so much.